all about cages. Quite a few people have been over time sending me different questions about cages. What size cage should I get for my dog? What brand would you recommend for my dog? And my dog's getting a bit big now, and what shall I get? And various other questions. So it's easier for just answering a question in a video and put it on YouTube, and it's there for eternity then for people to reference back to. So I've just got 2 cages behind me which we used to have for our dogs, and then we replaced them with this big piece of furniture. So what I'll do, I'll explain sort of the pros and cons of these. Now there's no point in me telling you a brand because there's people all over the world and all over the country and different shops accessible, and there are probably as many different cages available as there are breeds of dog. So for me to tell you a specific cage is a bit daft. It's not relevant to you, your dog, your house, your setup, etc. But so this cage here is one we bought for the car when we just had Darley, and it's a bit of a sort of a shape to fit into the boot of a car, fit against the back seat. It's got quite easy to open doors like that on a little like a pivot handle, and we put it in the car, and I put a piece of plywood over the top of it just so she felt a little bit more protected. This cage is Darley's old cage, which used to be here behind me. In some of the earlier videos you'll see it. Darley, come away. This used to be Darley's old cage. This was Darley sort of outgrew this one, which is why we got this piece of furniture made instead. Now it looks really long, as you can see, and quite deep, which is more than adequate for Darley, but when she's sitting up in it, her head would be up here, but she's sort of cramped up in it. It's not really fair. But when they make cages for dogs, I've never seen cages that are tall enough without being enormously long or wide, and you don't really need the length on it, because a dog would just curl up in a ball. It wouldn't stretch out like Superman, but it needs the extra height. So if you're looking for a next cage for your dog as it's growing, or for a starter cage, I would always advise looking around to try and find a tall one if you can, because that Darley just couldn't sit up and it wasn't really fair on her. I used to come down in the morning and she's always sitting up to greet me, but she was like crammed in like that. So that's those two. If you are going to get a cage, with the cage it's open to all sides, and so I would advise you put it in the corner of a room, so that way at least the back of it's not open and at least one side of it isn't open. Because a dog, if you put a dog in a cage like that and just put it in the middle of the room, it's going to feel quite vulnerable, and we would, not knowing if there's any threat and where it's going to come from, and it's supposed to be a nice place to relax. So if you look back in some of the earlier videos, we actually bought covers off eBay or Amazon or somewhere, so all the other sides of it are enclosed, and so she feels nice and secure in there. And so if you look at Darley in it now, there's loads of room for her, but she's going to sit, loads of room for her to lie down, but not enough head height. And to get the head height, you're going to have to go longer and longer and longer, and then you're eating into space. But I'll give you the measurements of that one. So this one is nearly 600 mils deep. It's 900 mil wide. Excuse me, little lady. Hey. Leave it. And it is 600 mil high, so I'd advise for a cocker at least going taller than 600 mils high, because Darley is a quite petite for some cockers as well. All of these cages do have a tray in the bottom as well, which slides out from one side or another, so if they do make a mess in there, or you need to take out for cleaning, there's usually just a catch somewhere. You can slide the catch out and then the tray will slide out, and you can just remove the tray outside for cleaning or wherever it needs to be. And then we've got this one, this piece of furniture. So I saw a suggestion on Instagram for the petcarpenter.co.uk, I think it was. I'll double check that, and I'll put a link to his website or to his Instagram or wherever in the notes below. And we sent him our specific measurements for this, and he built it to our requirements. So we've got drawers that open up. It's got a door with these locks in. Now Fern's an animal, or used to be like a savage, and she broke 2 of these already, so they're easy replaced from Screwfix. These metal bars are treated, and inside, well, we've had this painted ourselves as well, and then inside I've had to sort of put metal linings around it just to stop the dog from chewing it. And then in the bottom we've got trays which were out of the old dog cages, and then I've cut to the exact size of the bottom of the cage so that they've got a decent waterproof sort of, if they have wee or sick or anything in there, then it contains the mess, it doesn't soak into the wood. So I'll show you the dimensions and I'll show you all around that, and hopefully there's enough information here for you to get yourself a suitable cage for your dog rather than having to buy one every few weeks as the dog grows. So there's the cage. This is just some sheet metal which I cut down and put around all the sides. Get off, Dolly, you little rascal. That's the middle divider, which is bars. We asked for those to be removable so that if we did want it to make it one big one for both dogs to share, we could do, which we probably will in the future. And then I've put these metal strips on all of the interior corners there, just to stop the dogs biting anything, or to stop encouraging them biting. That closes over, shuts like that, and then the dog's in. Dolly, out your cage. Out your cage. And as you can see, it's quite easy to train the dogs to get in and out of the cage. They can both open this. Unfortunately, Fern can open that from the inside, so we're greeted by her every morning now for the past 3 or 4 days. Got 2 drawers there for all of the nonsense that my wife likes to buy. That's in case we need any more blankets at any point in the future, in case the 40,000 that we've got isn't enough. And overall, it's a beautiful piece of furniture. It's really well made. Nice oak top on top of it. Very pleased with it. Quite expensive, but it's well worth it. So I hope that answers everybody's questions on what you want in a cage and sort of requirements and stuff like that. And I'll get some more film soon. Thank you for watching me and Fern. Please give us a subscribe, a like, a share, and comment below with anything you've got for us.